A new ATF rule dropped by the DOJ would allow felons and people adjudicated due to mental health or substance abuse treatment to have their Second Amendment rights restored for the first time since 1992. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. There have been a lot of grumblings and raised brows as Pam Bondi got an extension on the deadline for her report on the ways the government has been infringing on our Second Amendment rights, but this is definitely a step in the right direction and is part of that Trump executive order that demanded the report in the first place. Rumors of this new rule change were leaked on Wednesday night, but as per usual, I waited until the full information came out so I could be as accurate as possible. So, this new interim final rule removes the Attorney General's delegation of authority to the ATF to process applications for relief from federal firearms disabilities outlined under the Gun Control Act of 1968. In layman's terms, it's going to allow people to truly petition for their firearm rights back for the first time since 1992. It's still not a flat-out shall not be infringed, but it'll at least give people an avenue who did dumb crap when they were kids and did their time or had a mental health issue they voluntarily sought treatment for and are now stable, just as a couple examples. But before I break down for you the history here and how this will allegedly work, I want to show you this cool box that I got in from Ammo Squared. Ammo Squared is an automated set it and forget it ammo subscription model that makes sure you have ammo when you want it. But unlike traditional subscription services, you are not forced into a set monthly budget or monthly shipments. You simply pick your calibers, how much or how little you're looking to spend each month, and pick a shipping trigger. All ammo is factory new from brands you trust and stored in a climate-controlled environment until you're ready to have it shipped to your door. They have over 70 calibers to choose from, no minimum buy, and no extra fees. All orders are shipped out in 1 to 2 business days, and all orders of $250 or more are shipped completely free. So, shout out to Ammo Squared for being a friend to this channel and adding to my ammo supply. Now, to get the full picture here, let's roll back to the Gun Control Act of 1968. Under this law, there are certain people that are prohibited persons, which the bill calls firearm disabilities. This includes felons, and remember, not all felonies are murder. Things like vandalism, DUIs, and writing a bad check are also felonies. And to be clear, because I know there's going to be someone in the comments saying that I am in no way advocating for any of those things, especially drunk driving. That's really bad thing to do. But the fact is, there are people who did dumb things as young adults and have been sober for decades and haven't been allowed to exercise their rights. That isn't fair or good either. The law also bans people with certain mental health adjudications, people with domestic violence misdemeanors, etc. But the law was also designed in a way that people who fell into those categories were supposed to be able to petition the government to have their rights restored, so long as they could prove they were no longer a danger to the public by applying to the Attorney General via the ATF. So at least there was a vehicle for restoration. Except in 1992, Congress voted to pull the funding on this process, basically rendering it impossible to get your rights restored outside of relying on expungements, presidential pardons, or state-level processes, which in places like Massachusetts is impossible. I actually had a couple of friends attempt this process, one for seeking alcohol treatment 20 years ago, another for shooting a homemade slingshot when he was a teenager, and both were laughed out of court. Literally. So this lack of funding left a lot of people with little to no recourse. Now, under this rule, the DOJ is bypassing that lack of funding by taking restoration under the broad DOJ mantle instead of leaving it to the ATF. The rule goes into effect immediately, but will accept public comment before issuing a final version. And this move has the backing of Gun Owners of America. As per their Senior Vice President, Eric Pratt, for decades, law-abiding Americans who have had their gun rights unfairly restricted have been left in legal limbo, creating an unconstitutional de facto lifetime gun ban. This bureaucratic failure has denied thousands of individuals their lawful opportunity to restore their rights. The DOJ's decision to finally withdraw ATF's authority in this matter is an encouraging sign that this administration is serious about protecting the Second Amendment for all Americans. Of course, the way legacy media and gun control groups are painting it is that now the streets will be flooded with criminals who can legally own guns. First off, there is a process, and again, these people will need to prove that it would not endanger the public to have their rights restored. Second, criminals have guns anyway, regardless of the law. It's what makes them criminals. Third, if someone is allegedly safe enough to be back on the streets, then in theory they are safe enough to have their rights back. If they're not safe enough, then they shouldn't have been let out in the first place. These articles are also not considering the veterans who have gotten help for their PTSD, or the people who got a DUI in college and have had clean records ever since. So in theory, this might even expand out to more people willing to get and accept help for their mental health issues, their drug issues, their alcohol issues. The DOJ itself says the rule reflects an appropriate avenue to restore firearm rights to certain individuals who no longer warrant such disability based on a combination of the nature of their past criminal activity and their subsequent and current law-abiding behavior. Key words here being law-abiding behavior. This has also got a lot of attention lately as Mel Gibson, who had a domestic violence misdemeanor from 2011, tried to get his rights back and was denied, I guess. They're saying that Liz Oyer, the pardon attorney for the DOJ, denied the restoration seemingly not because of a personal opinion on Gibson's case, but because she believes allowing felons to restore their rights, period, is too dangerous. I'm not entirely sure here because there are some vast differences in reporting depending on the outlet, but she claims to have been fired for that opinion. She claimed that Gibson ended up being added to the list not out of true safety and rehabilitation, but because of a close relationship with Trump, and also claimed that her firing was political. So of course it's all over the news. According to Oyer, she had actually found 95 petitions that she thought could be restored, and the Deputy Attorney General reduced that list to 9. Then added Gibson and asked her to reassess her initial decision. While she said that the request was based solely on Trump loyalty, she also admitted to The Hill that she had not reviewed Gibson's case and punted it back to the Attorney General. She says that she was fired the same day, so I don't know if we can really connect the two things if she never actually reviewed Gibson's case and just, knocked it back to the Deputy Attorney General who made the suggestion in the first place, but that is what she is claiming, and it has been all over the news as a Trump abuse of power and power grab. Either way, if we are truly about Second Amendment rights here, then I don't see anything wrong with this rule, and I see it as a good thing. And if it's something that's being taken away from the ATF, maybe that's also a sign that other things might be taken away from the ATF. We'll have to see. Anyways, that is it for this video. You guys know the drill for all of the algorithm things. Please do them. Also, thank you again to Ammo Squared for the amazing, great box of ammo. And as always, thanks for tuning in. Stay safe out there and happy shooting.